Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Game Vault podcast stream. I'm your host, Mark. We're back with the news hour for, I guess, technically Monday, September 29th. We're through the month of September. This is how time works. Still surprises me every time I type the date in, how quickly this year has gone, or at least I should say the last month and a half. We had some slow points in June and July here, but this has flown by. You would think as I would get less busy at work, time would go slower, but the weeks just fly by when I'm not, I guess, all stressed out at work. So anyway, welcome. Some house cleaning stuff up front. Obviously, we've started our Extra Life campaign. You can find it. It should be in the description of this video if you're watching this on YouTube, and in the description of the podcast. Where to go donate. You can go to tinyurl.com tinyurl.com/GVP, as in Game Vault Pod, Extra Life 10, the number 10. Because it is our 10th anniversary doing this. You can go there, you can donate. I've already got 3 donations in. I've already gotten to the decal level to add to my computer. And then, hopefully we got $750 is our goal, but we really want to get to 1,000. But I just like to set a modest goal, because I would like you guys to surprise me every year. So I'd rather us reach something than fall short, essentially. So I hedge my bet at 750, and then we extend it, as things go well. So, as I said, the main thing that's locked in for that is the main stream, or I should say the one that's like 12 to 18 hours. Will be on Saturday, November 8th, starting at 9 a.m. It should be me. I'm trying to figure out a way to set it up for my living room so that I can have guests over, like maybe Kitty Ashcat, or, if anybody else wants to pop in, we can have it set up, because right now I'm literally in a corner of my bedroom where I have the baffle, set up and all that, to be able to work right off the computer here. So I'm going to try and set up in the living room so we can have a little more space, a little more relaxed, and also probably a little more comfortable than this sitting in this office chair for 12 to 18 hours. So definitely doing that. And then every Saturday through to the end of the year, there will be some type of stream on the channel that will be separate from the Trails streams, that we will be doing special stuff. I already a couple ideas where, we'll have a Zelda day, where I do a randomizer. And then I'm trying to do the speedrun thing, which is Master Sword %, which is getting to the Master Sword in short amount of time. I don't know if it's no glitches or whatever. I don't really know many glitches, so that doesn't matter. But I did it just randomly without, maybe using the right ROM or whatever on my Mister. And I got 43 minutes, which is not great because world record's like 21. But I'm hoping to get somewhere in the 30s. I might start doing that every Friday, maybe something weird here. But that's going to be one of the things during Extra Life. And then just sort of playing around with other stuff. Maybe I'll show off all the sports games that I play and all that stuff. But we'll just be hanging out, chillaxing, as they say. Doing all that. So join us for Extra Life. Gotta make that 30 under 30 on that leaderboard. Hell yeah. The one weird thing about the speedrun, I don't know if this is all speedruns. I don't think it was true for Mike Tyson's Punch-Out when I was trying to learn that. But apparently I have to record my button inputs and have it on screen. So I think I know how to do that. But that seems to be a requirement for this in particular. Yeah, it was some weird thing on speedrun.com that said, I guess they want to make sure you're not double pressing or some weird rule. Maybe it's just Master Sword percent. I don't know. But, and everybody I've watched do it has, like, they have the little graphic come up in the lower right. I think BizHawk does it for me, so I should be able to do it. But anyway, I'll read over the rules and stuff, because what we'll do on one of the Saturdays is I'm going to practice, and then one on Saturday we'll run, and then we'll, yeah, for that Extra Life run, that's the one I'll submit. And I'll just get my time on the leaderboard no matter what it is that day. The best time we do that day, I will submit. So, that is the goal for one of those. And then, obviously, on December 31st, yeah, and is my annual New Year's Eve stream. Obviously, that is always subject to change if I end up going somewhere for New Year's Eve for any reason, but there's usually no real reason. We don't really do that gathering anymore as we're all getting older here. So I party with you guys from like 8 to midnight on New Year's Eve as our final push for donations. So be on the lookout there. I'm trying to set up Fuser to have some fun stuff in it. And if I can get Fuser to run. Last year it was tough. So we just did license the games. So anyway, that's Extra Life. Once again, you can donate tinyurl.com/GVP, as in Game Vault Pod, Extra Life, the number 10. So yeah, that's on that. And move on to what I've been playing. Outside of doing a run or two of Zelda, we'll start with the things I've been streaming. We're at Mega Man 3. We're at the boss rush stages, which is different than normal boss rushes. You get like 2 of them, and they're Mega Man 2 bosses, and trying to figure out what weapons work with what, because my cheat sheet is not telling me that. So we're having fun doing that. I got to a giant Met, and I was trying to figure out the hitbox on the Met, and then I had to watch a video, and I was like, oh, it's the cross on the helmet. Cross on the helmet is the hitbox. So we'll get to doing that next time and get through that. I think that's the 3rd of 4 of those, and then we get into the Wily stages. So we probably got another week or 2 of that left, just because this threw me for a loop, this one here. And yeah, but I'm still having a lot of fun with it. The slide is still... I played so much Mega Man 2, I cannot express to you how much Mega Man 2 I have played, that I completely forget about the slide, unless if I need it to traverse. And it takes me dying 2 or 3 times on a boss. I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, it's slide. If I slide under, I would be able to get it. That makes perfect sense. So, gotta just remember to figure that out. It'll probably make some things easier. But the fact that I got 2/3 of the way through the game without really perfecting the slide is kind of ridiculous. Yep. So, and then we'll move on to Mega Man 4, which is a game I've never touched. So 2 and 3 were the ones that I played a little bit. The 1 and then 4 through 6, never touched before. They're all basically the same thing. I just got to learn what the thing is for that Mega Man. And then we also played Friday. We did a hasty glance for Hades 2 1.0. We played the early access last May, I believe. I think it was April or May that I streamed here. We played a couple hours of 1.0, or about an hour or so of 1.0, I should say. And then, you know, I've continued it myself for the entire weekend. It's been nothing but Hades 2. That game's amazing. It has a chance to unseat Expedition 33, because everything about the writing, the style is just Hades but better. And Hades was already almost a 10 out of 10 game for me. All the new mechanics I'm getting used to them, and they're starting to feel like so much better than like Hades one felt restrictive on some of the stuff that I can do here. Um, the levels are so much better designed um, in terms of variety. Um, didn't feel like it was just like sort of the same hallways, just reskinned in some cases. Um, there's a lot more life, and especially, having the ability to go up and down, which is something I brought up last year on this podcast. So not spoiler, they let you know right away. It's like in the first hour. I think we learned it on this stream. But yeah, I have not gotten all the way to the final boss yet. And as you know, with Hades, that's not the end because it is a roguelike. I'm just holding out my putting this above Expedition 33 until I finally beat one of those bosses. And if that means that I turn on God mode and get to 80% damage reduction just to get to the end of the game, by God, I'm going to do that. I just need to see the end, just to give it a fair shake for me, because this is the only thing that's really probably going to compete with Expedition 33. But yeah, it's all the new characters. They fit right in. I love that since they're technically at war in this game, every time you meet everyone but Aphrodite, because of course Aphrodite, everybody's in like military getup, which is cool to see. And then seeing all the side characters, like I've ran into a couple of ones I wasn't thinking I was going to see. I'm not going to spoil that for anybody. There's one character that sounds like a mix between Nicolas Cage and Andy Samberg. When you find him, you will know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so far, as much as I loved Hades, the character, Kronos feels more like a villain. But I guess that's the point of Hades, is that he wasn't really a villain. In that, not in the sense like Kronos is in this. But yeah, I'm gonna be reporting on this for the rest of the year. So I've already done almost 30 nights, so 30 runs, and a lot of them were just not so much exploratory, but sort of like, all right, I'm going in and I'm just getting stuff, and I need to get this material because I need to do this incantation, and I just need to. So I don't care if I die on the 5th screen, as long as I get in there and I get this and I unlock this and I get it and I'm out. So there's been some runs that I wasn't even planning on finishing. I just needed to get down to a resource, get that resource, and like, all right, let's see if we can go from here. So, Hades 2, really, really good game. Yeah. And then Saturday, I played Trails in the Sky. We did a whole small segment of the game, which probably shouldn't have taken as long as it took, but I got lost. Not lost. They wanted you to find these 4 people. And this thing for the 4th person said, at the west gate. So I looked at the map. I looked at the compass. And I'm like, all right, this is the west gate. And I go west, and it says, you can't go there. You should finish your investigation first. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? So then it took me approximately 20-something minutes of running through every single house in this one section of Roland. They meant West. Yeah. And finally, it was a tucked away house behind the, not the weapon shop, the other shop, Orbiment, or whatever they're called, shop. And they made it seem like in everything, because I finally looked it up after 25 minutes. I was like, where is this? And the guy, and every guide I saw was just like, oh yeah, it's in the house near the west gate. And I'm like, and finally I just started going in every door. Everyone else was easy to find, because the note said, this person who lives here? Bang. You know, and I haven't found an extra one that I didn't even need to go check out because I was exploring everywhere. So I should get a pretty good bracer grade for that. So yeah, we're figuring out. We're about to meet who our big bad is in Roland from the society that we have to fight. Hopefully, it's been every one of those has been a fucking great character. So I'm excited to see what this character is. And they're doing some really like deep stuff in terms of between Shira and Estelle, and just it's deep for the kind of cozy game this is. You know, it's nice. Yeah. So, and besides that, I played some more NHL 26. I find that game better than 25, but I might just wait for it to become free and just keep playing 25 through the year because it's not so much different that I'm like, oh my god, I have to have this and buy it at full price. Last year I bought it at $20 right before the playoffs or something. No, it was during the Four Nations I bought it. So we're still with that. Yeah, and that's about it. That's about all I've been playing. Yeah, like I said, it's mostly going to be nothing but Hades 2 for most of these for the rest of the year. So be ready for that. I have plans to get Sonic Racing when I get paid next week. So we might have some of that. I'm probably going to buy a couple other things coming up soon. So we might have more than just Hades 2, but I'm going to be playing a lot of that. I'm probably going to play Hades 2 after this. So yeah, so moving on to the news. Sorry, I took it off the button press. So first up, Kojima Productions Beyond the Strand live stream happened, I believe, on Tuesday. But anyway, on the 23rd, so it happened Wednesday. Or is that Tuesday? That was Tuesday. Yeah, I was right. It's Tuesday. Hideo Kojima and Kojima Productions celebrated the studio's 10th anniversary with a big Beyond the Strand live stream, and it featured everything from the first trailer for OD to a poster and casting details for Fizznet to a new animated project called Death Stranding Mosquito, to themed cards and sake and so much more. That is a terrible paragraph. That even felt bad to read. So, anyway. OD got its trailer. It's pretty good. And it has, no surprise, it has a lot of PT vibes to it. In terms of the first person and looking around, and when you turn your head and put your head back, something's different. So, yeah, it started out with footage. You know, like words on screen that were redacted and all this, and then you did some kind of lighting candles thing, and then all of a sudden they do this, if you can see if you're watching the video, Sophia Lillis, you know, character starts getting things growing on her as somebody walks towards her. Very creepy, very good. The title was Knock. I think the game's going to be called OD. I think this trailer is called Knock. So I am looking forward to this. This does look really, really good. So Jordan Peele will be doing another trailer or something. So apparently this is going to be, it feels like it's going to be some kind of like anthology maybe, because it seems like Kojima says he's doing this one and Jordan Peele's focusing on another Fear. So I'll be interested to see when this comes out, what exactly is going on here. And then Hideo Kojima released a poster for Fizznet, which is the game that is totally not Metal Gear Solid. And it has one of the best taglines that I've seen in a while. And when I say best, I mean confusing and funny. Here comes the feeling. No idea what that means. And they announced some characters. It shared that Charlie Fraser from Furiosa Mad Max saga, Don Lee, a.k.a. Ma Dong Sek from Eternals, and Minami Hambe from Godzilla Minus One will be joining the cast of Fiznit. And then, I guess he showed video of them working on the game's engine or something. But yeah, this is the next game after OD, so we're looking sometime in the 2030s for that. Death Stranding Mosquito is the working title for a new animation project. It'll be ABC Animation Studios. He said that they want to differentiate the look of the animation film and the games. And in the action trailer above, you kind of see that difference. It also revealed the main character is not Sam Porter Bridges. And will have the ability to suck something really important that isn't blood. No idea what that means. But it's Kojima for you. And then he announced an AR project with the Pokemon Go creator Niantic. Move beyond the screen. He says, I can't really speak of the details yet, but if you're climbing a mountain, there's still entertainment there, Kojima teased. It's like the real Death Stranding in the real world, and you can connect with people, or you can connect with the actual environment there in your city. Previously, it was like virtual reality, but this, I'm thinking about connecting with the real environment. Sure, whatever, Kojima. And they gave an update on the Death Stranding movie with A24. They want to film a new story that is not what we've seen in the games, which makes sense. I think it's the best way to do it. That's sort of what Fallout did. When you try to follow things too closely, you get into trouble with things. But it has to be good. It can't be Resident Evil. Kojima Productions is partnering with Mitsubishi UFJ on a credit card. So this is the Kojima credit card that's been going around. It's kind of insane, but of course, go get that bag, Kojima. And then they are teaming up for a sake called, I think it's Zaku Ludens. So, of course. So, the main thing that I want to get to was that Kojima laid out a 20-year plan for Kojima Productions in this. His goal in the first phase, which was 2015 to 2019, was build a spaceship, assemble a crew, install engines, and head for outer space, creating our own new IP. This also included Death Stranding, focusing on connections with fans, merchandising, a fan event, and an anniversary event. The spaceship is The Office. Second phase, from 2019 to 2025, and then to 2030, is transferred to the long-range spacecraft and head into space. This includes Death Stranding, the director's cut, Death Stranding 2 on the beach, and team wants to enhance its own IP, go into multi-platform film, anime, comic, novelization, and music, further adventures and challenges beyond the universe. Create new IP and transcend the boundaries between film and games, and expand the connection with fans. And then the third phase, which is 2030 to 2035, equip with the latest gear into outer space, going to a new galaxy. Generation of new IP from legacy media such as games, movies, anime, manga, novels, and creating new IP from new digital environments, digital media. So, Kojima, certified crazy person. And yes, going back to your point, yes, it is basically just Ingress. But it's gonna be one of those things where he does it and everybody's like, yeah, this is great. And people are gonna be like, but what about Ingress? That was That's the same. Okay. And then the other things listed here. They just did a timeline of everything that was announced in the last 10 years. So that was Kojima's 10-year anniversary thing of basically patting himself on the back. Moving on, the state of play. I have a full video out, which I just loaded up today. If you want to watch my initial reactions to these. But we'll go through what was announced. Marvel's Wolverine was a gameplay trailer. This looks pretty good. What I will say is my favorite thing from this trailer and all that is two facts that they got correct with Logan. One, he's short. Wolverine is a short king. So they made sure they got that correct. And the yellow suit. As you can see down here, they have the yellow suit. That if you tend to look at it the wrong way, just looks like two Batmen kissing. But that isn't the way he's wearing the mask in this one. But yeah, also it's very, very bloody and like M-rated, which it should be. So I am definitely looking forward to this. Wolverine is probably my second favorite superhero growing up. I was a Spider-Man, X-Men kid when I read comics when I was younger. And when I mean younger, it was like probably about 9, 10 was when I stopped. So there's a huge gap, and I haven't really picked up comics since. But I was definitely a big-time, Wolverine, Spider-Man fan. So got the Spider-Man games from Insomniac, and now they're giving me a Wolverine game. So hopefully they do just as well. And this is coming in spring 2026. So, I'm sorry, fall 2026. We will see more of the game in spring 2026. So, that was a great thing about this state of play. There's a lot of dates on things. Sorrows, which is the Housemark game, which looks spectacular. If you liked Returnal, and to a lesser extent, like Resogun and that bullet hell stuff, Housemark is top of the line, number one, probably, in my opinion, the best at this. Rahul Kohli does a great job, at least in this trailer, doing the main character. I may not pick up this game as much as I loved. I played Returnal a little bit when I had the higher level PlayStation Plus for like a few months before I realized it wasn't worth it. I don't think I had the reflexes or ever had the reflexes to play a bullet hell game like this. I think Hades might be my limit for games with a lot of shit going on screen. But yeah, this looked really interesting. I will definitely watch someone play this for sure. All right, next up was the Battlefield 6 campaign, which I will say, as a man who plays the campaigns in these dumb Call of Duty Battlefield things, I was really interested in this from the weird fact that I think I'm getting a little tired of, as fun as it was to see Bill Clinton in the last game, Black Ops 6. It felt like, I don't know, it just didn't grab me like the other ones have. I used to love these main campaigns. It used to be a staple of when I would be home during the holidays. I would play through the main campaigns for some reason during the holidays. And but I gotta say, this Battlefield 6 one did pique my interest a bit, just because it It has some things in it. I'm like, okay, not connecting this really to real life, but a little bit, and that's kind of like what I liked about, the Modern Warfare stuff, more than anything. Not the new Modern Warfare, because those last two were dog shit. But overall, what Modern Warfare did. So this is coming October 10th. So I have EA Play, so hopefully it'll be on there, and then I can, at least play through the campaign for free. So, and this, next thing, as me and Tom like to joke, anytime a game comes out that is definitely someone else's bag, that we have experts in our podcast family. Neo 3 was given an official release date, February 6th, and me and Tom both pushed, I don't know if you heard it, we both pushed the Night Duck alarm when this trailer was playing, to, kind of try and summon you for it, but, so Neo 3, like with the other two Neo games, as I've gotten older, I've understood that, okay, this game looks fucking great. I may not be any good at it. Trailer's good. So I may not end up playing it just for that reason. There's rarely a game that I look at and go, well, that looks like shit, I'm not playing it. Normally when I end up not playing games, in a year, it's because of time, or I'm just like, I'm not going to be any good at it, and I don't want to, there's other games I could spend my money on, that I wouldn't put down, but yeah, I was so happy watching this, because I know you're going to love it when you watch the trailer and stuff. You played through the demo, I believe, or something that was out, February 6th, for Neo 3. And this one, a little controversial one here, Zero Parades, for Dead Spies, is from Disco Elysium Zaum, or Z-A-U-M, however you want to say it, whichever is more fun. But the controversy behind it is that it's basically the people that made Disco Elysium, but none of the people that made Disco Elysium, if that makes sense. It's the developer, but everybody that made Disco Elysium was fired. Something like that. So it's a whole new development team trying to do the same work there. And I think it was some kind of weird, a weird thing that some people are just like not going to play this game because of it. Maybe even pirate it and stuff like that. Sail those high seas. But yeah, if it's anywhere as good as Disco Elysium, for those of you that couldn't care less about stuff like that, from the trailer, it looks like you're going to get more of that, and it should be out sometime in 2026 for you. Next, Final Fantasy Tactics. We're all going to play it. Not much to say here. Coming September 30th. I will probably get it. This is one of the other games I was talking about that I'm going to purchase before the end of the year. So yeah, that game still looks great. Crimson Desert. That's coming March 19th. I'm going to wait to see other people play it and see reviews and stuff. Nothing really grabbed me in the trailer. This was my game of the podcast, of the Direct, that wasn't Marvel's Wolverine. Chronoscript, The Endless End, which, by the way, they do not, as much as, as much as I'd love a colon something after a title, this game does not need that. It could just be Chronoscript and be great. Because The Endless End does not tell me anything. This is the game that's pen art, like ink art, inspired 2D action adventure game. I'm assuming it might be a Metroidvania, not sure. But the The outside of the book is in 3D, and the book itself is 2D. So it looks really interesting. It looks gorgeous to me. I will definitely be keeping my eye out for this. It's coming out in 2026. And then Code Vein opened up with a shot of a girl with giant boobies. Let me see if this will play with no sound so you guys can see. For those who watch the video, there it goes. Lady with giant boobies is how it opens. So Code Vein 2. Again, another one of those games I look at and I'm like, that would be fun to play, but I don't know if I would play it for long. You know, but yeah, so that sequel, that's coming out on January 30th. And then they also announced the wave of PlayStation Plus stuff. Alan Wake 2 will be on there. Cocoon, Ghost Simulator, Last of Us Part 2, and the remastered version will be on there as well. The Last of Us 2 is already on there because September 26th is Last of Us Day. So, yeah, so if you have anything above Essential, you can get to play some of these games. And the most surprising thing that was on here, because I had forgotten that this was announced somewhere, Microsoft's Flight Simulator 2024 is headed to PlayStation 5. The best part of this trailer, and is that this airplane, if you're watching the video, this airplane that's on this video here is a Malaysian Airlines plane. Hey Dan, how you doing? Now, I'm pretty sure the people that... I'm not going to be 100% sure on this. I am pretty sure the people that worked on this trailer did not even realize this or think of this. But the fact that they opened with a Malaysian Airlines flight, being that they have that plane that famously disappeared and that nobody knows what happened to it. And I believe there's a story about that guy, the pilot who learned before getting his license on Microsoft Flight Simulator. So, people that are deep into that story, this dark humor funny thing may have been my favorite thing of the trailer for this. But either way, it looks spectacular. It's going to be it's going to probably be Pro Enhanced and all that good stuff. And they're working on VR2 support. So that could make it... basically, Xbox is a software company, a publisher now. Because everything they're sending over to Sony is doing better on Sony. And it's crazy. But, yeah. Gran Turismo celebrates that it sold 100 million units. And 7 is getting a new update with 8 new vehicles, 2 F1 circuits, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And then the other announcement, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds is getting Mega Man content. So, perfect. He rides the Rush car. And Proto Man is also in it as well, and that's coming out early next year. The game just came out. And then something that was the funniest thing, the Deus Ex remaster thing, the way they showed it off as remastered, just looks like they just up-resed, like they didn't, it just looked like they didn't do much to it, outside of just making the things look better. But I'm still interested in playing this, and it's probably going to be the best way to play it, so... February 5th for that. And the game that we sounded the Roxy alarm for, Halloween is getting a video game. It's no longer the Shape from Dead by Daylight. Michael Myers is in his own game, where you're basically doing the Dead by Daylight stuff, but instead of generators, you're saving townspeople. Yep, that's coming. And the funniest part about this announcement, you would think, hey, Mark, we're doing a horror game announcement on the State of Play on September 25th. or 4th. When would we release this game? You know, with a certain month coming up and certain things that go on in that month. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, we're going to announce it for September 8th of 2026. Like, why? Why even announce it now? What is the... I'm going to forget about this game. I'm literally going to forget about this game until it pops up next year. Like, oh, yeah, right, the Halloween game. Like, there's zero reason to announce it now if you're not dropping it in October. It made zero sense. I don't know why they did this. The game looks good. The idea is good. I should say looks good. In that if you take it in the Dead by Daylight, you know, sense. You know. But, yeah, I can't believe they're waiting a year. Like, what? Why? But why? There's no reason to announce it now. Zero reason. Let It Die Inferno is a PvPvE game, you know, where you can lose all your loot if you die before you get out. So it's kind of an distraction shooter as well. But Uncle Death was at the podcast, or at the direct. Not the direct. Jesus, Mark. At the State of Play. So that was fun. Dynasty Warriors. This is a pretty cool trailer, and they were showing you what it looked like originally, and then those same scenes like remastered. And this actually looked like a good remaster compared to what Deus Ex did. Last Epoch just looks like another one of these generic games, but it's getting an update. A game that I won't understand or get into. They're launching an expansion on PS5. And then Seven Deadly Sins, Origin Tales, is the original story in the world of that beloved manga and anime. That is coming January 2026. They announced a new DualSense wireless controller, which is essentially just the white controller with a red line on the right side for Kratos. Like, you could literally do this yourself. You can take your white controller, if you have one, and just paint a red line on it. The only thing you might not be able to do is the face buttons and the arrows in the D-pad are red as well. But, come on. And it's probably going to be like $900. I'm sorry, it's $84.99. And then the funniest thing on here is the yeah, like I said, I'm gonna go back to last Epoch Fest. I had no idea what it was. It obviously it's pretty popular, but you know, it did nothing for me in the thing because I'm not really a Diablo person. So yeah, I never say that anything's popular, but it just seemed like one of those games. But anyway. The funny part is I love Hades, which Hades is kind of a Diablo type. But not as much. It's like isometric. So it's not the isometric. I don't know what it is. But anyway. The funniest thing on the podcast, or on the State of Play, was they announced these wireless speakers, which Sony does make good headphones. So the sound quality is going to be good in these. It's weird that they're advertising these as PC speakers, as like a PC setup for your PS5 and your the handheld PS5 thingy that's out there. They come in black or white. There's no price yet. I'm saying $700. It's probably going to be like $300. But I'm just saying $700. They'll be out in 2026. So, yeah. It's going to be good. Sony's pretty good with speakers. So, I'm not surprised. All right. And next up, we have RGG Studios. The only real announcement that I saw from there were like updates to the other stuff, but the main things I want to talk about, we'll just go through this slightly quickly. Um, they're doing Kiwami 3. So Yakuza 3 is getting the Kiwami treatment, and they're adding Dark Ties, um, which is the I think it's based on another character that's in the game. But yeah, I am excited for this. Um, Playing through Kiwami 1 as my first way to experience 1 made it a lot more enjoyable. I can't wait to play 2. Um, and the side story here. And they are also announcing that Kiwami 1 and Kiwami 2 are coming December 8th with added language support. If you're doing the physical, or if you want that, that is coming to December 8th is everything but Switch 2. Switch 2 is getting it on November 13th. So, look out for that. Director's Cut, same thing. December 8th for language support. They are doing live action Yakuza 3. There's very little detail, Slim, about that, but I hope it's better than the Amazon one, or at least they do a better job of dubbing it. Stranger Than Heaven. The trailer looked good. I'm very, very intrigued by it. Yeah, I'm hoping this comes out within the next year or two here. And then they also mentioned it, but didn't say much about it. They're doing a new Virtual Fighter project. Oh yeah, yeah. That's the thing with those games. Once you finish one, you just want to get right into the next one. Night Duck. I've only gotten to like chapter 5 of Infinite Wealth. So, or I think it was 5. I might be further. I don't know. It was a weird time I was playing it. But yeah, it's good from what I played. I always look at it because I have a physical copy of it. I'm like, I'm gonna get back to that, and then a bunch of other stuff comes out, and I forget to get back to it. So. This is the one game I'm going to say, I don't know what you did with Like a Dragon. Yeah. I didn't. Oh, I could have just given it to you. My apologies. It's one of the rare games I bought physical. So I forget that I did that. And so we're just talking about it. I'm sorry, Night Duck. Yeah, so what was I going to say? For this game, I don't know what you did in the original, but I highly recommend doing English for this one, just because when they go to Hawaii, it doesn't distinguish who speaks English and who speaks Japanese. So it's kind of confusing when the very American people are just speaking fluent Japanese. So that's my recommendation for you. It was a lot more like, it made a lot more sense. And plus the English voice acting is really good. So, yeah, moving on. Sorry about that. Moving on. Forza Horizon 6 is set in Japan. Launches in 2026 for PC and Xbox first, then PlayStation 5 after. Microsoft has now formally announced Forza Horizon 6 at the Tokyo Game Show. So this has been a long rumored thing that is going to Japan. And it's fun to have it confirmed. There's very few countries left that I guess you could go. I guess you go to every country in the world, to be honest. But there's few countries left that like sort of have like a you can do like a lot with in the Forza Horizon engine. Japan's one of them, and I'm glad that they're actually doing this. So I will be looking forward to at least trying this out for a little bit. But this is definitely a ring the Tom, the Metal Militia alarm here for this one. And it'll be launched sometime in 2026. Next up, Resident Evil Requiem was not on Nintendo Switch 2 was not the original plan. So essentially, this story here is they weren't going to put Requiem on Switch 2 originally, but 7 and 8 ran so well on Switch 2 when they got the copies. Mustard Metal Militia. That they once they found out that those games ran well, they were like, yeah, let's get this at launch. So that was a really fun little tidbit that, they wasn't really, everybody's surprised going, really? They're getting it day and date? That's weird. But you got to thank the fact that RE Engine, I've seen, worked really well. And from all accounts, it looks great on Switch 2. It probably runs at about 30 to 40 frames, but outside of that, for Switch 2, it looks great in handheld mode. So another game for you to get, Tom. All right, next up. Apologize if I'm speeding through these, but I'm losing my voice a bit, if you can't tell. Another Metal Militia alarm. Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3. Director tells fans not to worry about Rebirth sales. Insists the trilogy ender will be a proper high-quality send-off. Hamaguchi assured fans that despite Square Enix admitting last year that Rebirth did not meet expectations, the second part of the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy has been doing very well on both PC and PS5, and the team has been able to channel that success into a high-quality third installment. The second entry, FF7 Rebirth, has been doing very well on both PC and PS5. Hamaguchi told Automaton, I believe that's how you say that, I know some fans have expressed concerns, but please rest assured we'll be able to deliver a proper high-quality third installment. The concern revolved around the suggestion that the scope of Part 3 might have been scaled back as a result of Rebirth's disappointing profits. Hamaguchi also took the opportunity to assure the community that Part 3 is going extremely well. He said the game is shaping up nicely, a lot of the content is already playable, and the game's direction and form are firmly in place. Right now, the team is united around refining everything. Yeah, so basically it just goes on to say that the game is basically playable, and then but they're just working on like sort of, I can't think of the word right now, just sort of polishing it. So my guess is Part 3 will come out sometime between January and April of 2027. I think they may want to do the goal of hitting it for, I believe the Japanese release was January, end of January 1997. So they might want to hit that. But yeah. I'm thinking it's going to be sometime in 2027. Just because they want to hit that 30th anniversary. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely... We'll find out more at the Game Awards and see how far they're along, because they are definitely dropping the first teaser in December of this. And then we'll hear about it again either at the next Game Awards or at... Yeah. Yeah, so... Or was it the Summer Game Fest? But yeah, we're definitely going to... The first... With all this news coming out from TGS, first teaser trailer is going to be... Is going to be in December. So that I'm pretty confident in. It sets a normal cadence for the game to be out in 2027. So yeah, so there you go, Tom. Getting closer. Next up is something that we have been waiting for, because they've been announcing everything in steps for this, and it's amazing when our predictions are lower than what the price actually is. So the Rogue Xbox Ally X and Rogue Xbox Ally price finally revealed. Microsoft goes for $1,000 for the most powerful version amid tariff uncertainty. Microsoft has confirmed the price of the Rogue Xbox Ally X and the Rogue Xbox Ally ahead of the release of both handheld gaming PCs on October 16th. The company has gone for $999.99 for the most powerful Rogue Xbox Ally X and $599.99 for the Rogue Xbox Ally. The pricing announcement comes in hot from Microsoft with just a few weeks to go until handhelds launch. At Gamescom in August, Microsoft and Asus told IGN the company still needed more time to figure out the macroeconomic impacts to pricing, which is essentially U.S. tariffs. This is always a challenge. Jason Ronald, Microsoft's Vice President of Xbox Gaming Devices and Ecosystem, told IGN last month, and you always try to find the right balance between affordability and price point. And I think especially in a mobile form factor that also adds in dimensions such as battery life in as well. And then you said the microeconomic climate is challenging. I think we need to spend more time figuring out the macroeconomics impact to pricing, and that's why we'll be sharing more later in September and October, Asus Senior Vice President Sean Yen added. So all the predictions going around on the internet was that they would be like, the less powerful version would be about going for $400, like around what the Switch 2 went for. And then the big one would be like $750, $800, like a PS5 Pro pricing for it. So yeah, this is wild that I would say it's the high end one that is surprising. Exactly. It's weird because I'm not really in the handheld market, Night Deck Metal Militia, or more in that sphere than I am. But yeah, it should have been like $800, at most $850 for the high end one, because you got a Steam Deck right there that can do a lot of the same things and play a lot of the same games for much cheaper. But no surprise that they waited right till the end, because I guess the tariffs could have been pulled and they could have come out cheaper, but who knows? Yeah, it's the experience you're paying for. But yeah, so they finally got the price out on this. And once again, Microsoft, even though some progress has been made, it's still part of the BDS boycott. So if you are following that, just want to remind you that it is still on there. And finally, Nintendo has killed Bowser. All joking aside, Nintendo of America's president, Doug Bowser, announces his retirement. Devin Pritchard named as successor. And the subhead is "So Long, Bowser." Nintendo of America President and Chief Operating Officer Doug Bowser has announced his retirement, which starts on December 31st, 2025. The announcement comes just shy of 4 months after the successful release of the Nintendo Switch 2, which is not only the fastest selling Nintendo hardware ever, but the fastest selling gaming hardware in U.S. history. Bowser exits Nintendo after more than a decade in various leadership positions at the company, and 6 years after he succeeded previous Nintendo of America president Reggie Fils-Aimé. Under his tenure, Nintendo has capitalized on the blockbuster success of the Nintendo Switch and expanded Nintendo brands into non-video game areas such as theme parks, stores, and movies. The Super Mario Bros. Movie hits theaters in 2023 and made an incredible 1.361 billion at the global box office. The sequel is due out next year. And let's see if they have a thing. Replacing Bowser as president is Devin Pritchard, a 19-year veteran of the video game industry and long-standing member of the Nintendo of America leadership team. In addition, Satoru Shibata will join Nintendo of America as CEO, while continuing his roles as managing executive officer and corporate director, member of the board at Nintendo Company over in Japan. Pritchard will also join the Nintendo of America board of directors and become an NCL executive officer. Yeah, so and a note that is probably significant to some people. Devin Pritchard does have a lot of backing from other people. Sean Layden reached out and congratulated her on social media and stuff. So, it looks like Nintendo of America is in good hands. It's not just some random person from within the company. This person seems to have a lot of experience, Devin Pritchard. And maybe she'll have as much of a on-camera thing as Reggie did, because Doug wasn't as visible in the directs and stuff. So, and at the any stage shows and things like that. So, maybe she just wants to stay in the background. But there's always a chance. They just missed the opportunity of a lot of good Doug Bowser jokes. But and as you can see on the screen, if you're watching on the video, he jumped into it too by having his announcement photo of him holding a plush Bowser. So, yeah, so that'll do it for the news. Yeah, we made it through. My voice made it. I ran out of soda. Yeah. Thank you guys for joining me. Just to recap, Extra Life is happening. You can donate by going to tinyurl.com/GVP, as in Game Vault Pod. Extra Life, the number 10. Schedule and all is there. Big stream will be on Saturday, November 8th at 9 a.m. Eastern. It'd be standard time at that point. And then on here, tonight we're going to be playing through some Mega Man 3. On Thursday, we'll have some Final Fantasy 6. And then Friday, I may show off what I'm talking about with the Zelda Master Sword % run. Get that all set up, since that'll be one of the streams in November. And then Saturday, we'll be back with Trails. And then Sunday, we'll be back with the News Hour, maybe some Trails in the afternoon. Trails is definitely... actually, Trails might move to Sunday this week, because I am basically going to be out of my house from like 8 a.m. until 10, 11 o'clock. So, I don't think I'm going to have a chance to stream. So Trails will move to Sunday. We'll do that in the afternoon on Sunday. So, yeah, thank you all for joining me. It has been fun as always. And be sure to check us out on socials. We're on Blue Sky. We're on Instagram, everywhere else. And you can hit up one of us to join the Discord. Or send a friend request to the Discord. It is Game Vault Podcast there as well. So, yep. And we'll have Podcast Prime recording on this Friday. And so that'll come out next week as well. Once again, thank you all for joining me. Thank you, Metal Militia. Thank you, Night Duck. And we'll see you next time. Bye.